Many of you will know that kind of questioning technique from the excellent book called Teach Like a Champion by Douglas Lemov. This is an example of how you would pose a question, you then pause, because no one knows who you're going to ask. You then choose someone, you then get their answer, and then you actually bounce that idea around the classroom. Very simple strategy, one that's called Right is Right from Doug Lemov's book. So well worth having a look at. Okay, I've got 2 minutes left, right, and 2 topics to cover. In order to develop inferential thinking, this is what GCSE teachers are always worried about, because they know in the exam the only questions check literal understanding of the text, but then there are all the other questions where they've got to describe the use of language devices and the effect on the reader. And people can think, well, my learners can't think inferentially. I can think, yes, of course they do. They just can't talk about it in that posh academic way that a GCSE English syllabus requires. And what I often do is to kind of get learners to look at images. And I know if you're English teachers here, it's a very common way, but I just want to show an interesting way in which I saw a teacher helping her learners develop their use of language. She picked out a series of images which comes from a fantastic website. The links are on the last slide if I ever get to. And these images are all about, they always demonstrate visual puns. So messages are being conveyed, right? And there's a fantastic website, there's a terrific resource. So you could, and what this teacher was doing was she actually gave learners examples of these on kind of laminated sheets, and they then had to choose to describe one of those images using one of these sentence structures. Okay, you can see here we're using quite simple language, because whereas down the bottom here we're getting more like the kind of language they need to use in a GCSE exam. They want to imply that, the juxtaposition of. So two topics done then. So ask hard questions of easy texts, model this movement from spoken to written English. I've got loads of other examples here, and it's really interesting how these all work, how they imply certain things. Okay, learners absolutely love these. This one is a clever one. People get they pay their mortgages by designing these adverts. So there's loads for people to explore in terms of implied messages, and it's then they soon get it, because you've got to look carefully, and it's almost like solving a problem, but it's then the articulation of their ideas that you can then help learners support. Anyway, let me kind of move on. Last two points. Developing sentence structure. I was working with a teacher last autumn, and she spent about 4 or 5 weeks helping her learners learn to recognise poor examples of sentence structures. And she got them to classify them according to kind of like run-on sentences, stringy sentences, choppy sentences. And I was, oh, wow. I think, well, this is, and I think the learner was struggling, and she was trying to help them. And I spent some time working with her, and I said, well, why, instead of that, why not get your learners to notice examples of good sentence structures? Okay. When they're reading, capture them, talk about them, help them to describe them. And so as the teacher worked through a range of texts over the term, she began to notice and pick up with learners examples of sentence structures that they then began to describe. Now this idea comes from Alan Peat. Anyone heard of Alan Peat? Right, okay, there's an app you can get. Okay, and it helps you work with learners to begin to notice effective sentence structures, and then with your learners you can think of a quick way to describe them that's meaningful to them. Okay, so let me have a look. So these are all examples from different bits of text that they read, and when they read those bits of text, they began to notice effective sentence structures, captured them, described them in some way. They kept a little log of them on a Padlet board, right? So this was a collaborative task that the teacher did. So it's not about teaching grammar, it's about helping learners notice how language works, how sentences are put together. And they're involved in it because they might come up with these little summaries. So that's Alan Pete's app there. So this is used, and I was reading some blog posts by some GCSE English teachers, and he said, well, 2 or 3 of them said, looking at this particular way of looking at sentence structure really worked for him, for them and their learners. Okay, some fascinating sketches. This is a lovely bit of writing. I might just finish here because we need to finish. This is, we'll forget the stag stuff. This is a piece of writing that I did with a learner, and he would never have been able to write that without having some prompts. But we'd done some work, and we gave him almost like a recipe of how to write. He said, well, look, so we looked at a sentence structure where we had that repetition. I have a beautiful guitar, beautiful in ways only the guitarist understands. So he knew he had to use that kind of sentence structure. Okay? The curved, honey-coloured body sits on the black metal stand. Okay? We've got 2 adjectives there. Excited, I can't wait to pick it up first thing in the morning. See, learners who struggle with writing, they don't know about these sentence structures. People who are good at English, we internalise them, we can mimic styles, but with our learners, we have to explicitly identify, describe, and then give our learners support in actually using them. Okay, let me just go back to that very last slide, and I'm going to finish there. Anyone recognise that famous pencil sketch? Anyone? No. Oh, what a wonderful comment. I did it. I did it. And I'm just going to finish there because when I trained originally years ago as a special needs teacher, I worked with a really inspirational teacher. And he was an art teacher, and we used to have sessions with him. And I used to think that being good at art meant you did really clever things with pencils. You could draw crumpled up Coke tins like we saw on the slide this morning. And I kept thinking, how do you do that? And he then began to show me what you really do when you draw. And it was so completely different from what I imagined. And I think the secret of writing is as much about observation. It's about noticing things, sounds, smells, and I think that's an interesting way in which you can support learners. I just share that with you because I think I can't believe that I sketched that, but I did, and it's using an interesting approach called drawing on the right-hand side of the brain. Where it's relevant for us is about the support we can give learners to recognise some of the underpinning skills that we need to get learners to identify. Because what underpins this is not being particularly good with a pencil, it's being able to look and notice things. And that's what I've been banging on about, is helping learners look at language, notice things about language, and then be able to use those the information that comes from having done those kinds of activities. Wow. 4 minutes over, but anyway, there's loads of other stuff on the slides, and most of those ideas come from the Level 5 GCSE CPD module that we're running at Suffolk New College, which is subsidised by the ETF. And
what a nice segue.
there you go.
I'm going to take 30 seconds just to say thanks to the team today, Trevor and Lindsay. It's a great day. We were really pleased to sponsor this event. If you haven't worked with us before, please look up our website on your free pad. You've got a little thing in your leaf. What's it called? My language has gone. Pack, thank you.
Delegate pack.
Delegate pack on our online modules. We are doubling these online modules over the next few weeks, so take a look at Foundation Online Learning. There's some lovely modules on there to support Maths and English that you can spread around your organisation for your vocational teachers to improve their own Maths and English, and learn about giving formative feedback to their students on Maths and English. We also are the holders of the professional standards that are on our website and in your pack, and we run the Society for Education and Training. So we're all about professionalising the workforce. So take a look at our website, sign up to our newsletter. Lots of what we offer is free, some of it is paid for, but all of it is quite heavily subsidised. So we're here to support you. Myself and Imka, our emails are on the list. Bob is your regional specialist lead who works for us in this region. So please tell us what you need, because everything that we produce is co-produced with the sector and based on intelligence that we get from the sector about what people need. And thanks again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Liz, I just want to say just a couple of things, and then I'll hand the floor over to you to say goodbye to everyone. First of all, thank you to every one of you for coming. Thank you for contributing your thoughts and sharing your good practice today. That is really, really useful. As you've seen already, we've all been kind of frantically scribbling, and we'll endeavour to share all of that good practice amongst peers and colleagues that are here. So thank you very much. Thank you too for those of you that have input and actually spoken today. And from my perspective, the really fascinating thing is how every speaker is really kind of blended together. So we've heard different aspects and different approaches to tackling problems within the sector, but it's just really kind of gelled everything together. We look at our C-SPAR approach and how higher order thinking skills are at the centre of that, and we've heard from Bob and Mark this afternoon to finish off with mastery, which is all really about those higher order thinking skills. So thank you very much. Now I'm just going to finish before handing the floor over to Lindsay to say final goodbyes. Julia has very kindly donated a couple of additional tea towels that we can use as prizes. So Katie, who is here, is going to get a tea towel for her caption competition, which said, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, definitely 10 toes. So we particularly like that one, so there you go. And there's no name on this one, so there you go. But the second one that we nominated was that's where the splinter is on the floor. However, this spare one, Julia, this is coming back to you because absolutely. No, that's fine. That's why I'm going to do this and then hand over to Lindsay, because Julia's caption competition was former gymnast Lindsay Johnson bends over backwards for Maths and English. Now I couldn't think of a better way to actually finish today's conference. So you do indeed.
I was worried there was going to be rubber gloves in there. So.
I did think so. But
all I wanted to say was thank you so much for coming. Keep in touch. There's @WSC All About Me, which is Trevor. I tweet as @LindsayWSC. Big challenges ahead. Let's just work on this together. And thank you so much for not dibbing out and for actually coming. Maybe it's the time, I don't know. But there's a lot on this time of year. So just a safe journey home. The heavens have opened. You're going to get damp. And have a smashing weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,